Next theory, the wrong tomb theory. This is the idea that the women, and later the men, because Peter, Paul, the Romans, they all went there too. In their grief, they just had no sense of direction. And they go to the wrong tomb, which was empty, so they just assumed that because we're at the wrong tomb, but we think it's the right tomb, but this tomb is empty, so therefore Jesus must be alive. That's quite the leap in logic. This goes against what we see in the scriptures as far as, look, the women were there at his crucifixion. The women were there when Joseph was burying him. They knew where it was. All four Gospels attest to that. Why is that important? Because if we're just making this up, with no due disrespect, ladies, your testimony doesn't count for diddly in the first century. It's like going to the Middle East today into a Muslim country, okay? The testimony of women means very little in Middle Eastern Muslim countries back then, and today, it just didn't count for much. Okay? In the Jewish and Gentile world, the testimony of women counted for very little. It was viewed as unreliable in court. In truth, it was actually culturally embarrassing for early Christians to go around the Jewish Roman world and telling people that, hey, women saw Jesus alive first. It would have been culturally embarrassing for that. And if you were making something up, you're not going to make up a story that you want to convince people is true by using modern equivalent words of, well, once upon a time. But that's pretty much what it was like, by saying girls saw him first. And yet all four say it. Why? Because it's true. They may not have liked to have admitted that it's true, but they said it's true because it's true. Okay. Again, the problems with this, does that mean that the Pharisees and the Romans went to the wrong tomb as well? And even if the Romans and the Jews go to the right tomb, wouldn't they have just been able to say, well, Jesus is alive? No, he's not. He's buried right there. Once Christianity became a threat to them, they could have just said, the body's right over there. You guys are crazy. Your women have no sense of direction. Peter and John, you got no sense of direction. We know where he's buried. They never produced a body. And kind of the most obvious thing here, the owner of the tomb, Joseph of Arimathea, you don't think he knows where the family plot is?